right, check it out, folks. This is an amazing day, Kristen.
It is.
This is an amazing day for us. We have Chef Tony here. He came all the way from Chicago.
Chicago.
Arms must be killing him.
Yeah.
We're starting off that
So
way.
anyway, this go ahead and introduce yourself right out the gate, Chef. We
Tony
don't have time here.
Priolo, Piccolo Sogno, born and raised in Chicago, great little town.
Tiny town.
Little
small,
town.
yeah, very
small
food,
town.
Small food town.
Midwestern small town USA, right?
Yep, absolutely. A little bit smaller than here.
Right. So what's going on here is, let me tell you a little story. I was in Chicago for some club business one time. And me, as I travel as a chef, everywhere I go, I look for the place to be.
Yeah.
Mostly Italian first, so I can get my inspiration. And then if I'm there a few nights in a row, I'll break out just to get diverse, right? So I want to see what the food scene is in Chicago, which I already knew. I've been there multiple times. I come across my little thing and I find your spot. I'm seeing all the reviews and all this. Let me give it a shot, right? So I walk into the place and I'm sitting there and I'm not expecting what I see. First of all, the mural on the side of your building, which we're going to show some B-roll during this. Once we do the editing, we'll put a little sign up there, some pictures,
Oh, yeah,
right?
cool. It's badass.
It's
definitely,
badass.
yeah.
Whoever did that mural, I thought My Little Mermaid mural was cool in here.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which it is.
I got a guy.
She's my girl, right?
I got a guy who'll help you out.
Yeah, well,
But
this
that's beautiful,
one
too.
is huge, right?
Yeah.
Whole side of a building, so you
cool.
got to see this. So when you're walking in, the area that the restaurant is in is, I wouldn't say ran down by any means, but it's definitely not high society. Is it right to say?
No, local
Beautiful
Italian.
place.
Yep.
Right. You walk in this restaurant, though, and you separate instantly from where you are outside into this. It's more of a quaint,
Oh, cool.
smaller town mentality, very just homey. You walk right in the front door, and you got to kind of just turn right. And as soon as you turn right, you're walking along the bar. As you walk along the bar, you go into another room, archwayed, open up, ceilings are arched out, beautiful. And you're just like, what the fuck? It's almost got a, I'm going to tell you what, I travel to a lot of the Michelin restaurants around the world, and the vibe of the room has that vibe.
Oh,
It's
thanks,
very,
yeah,
it's very cathedral. It's,
I wasn't trying to do that. I was just trying to
no,
get,
you're
yeah,
not. That's
yeah,
the beauty
yeah,
of it, bro.
yeah.
That's the beauty of it. So when you're not trying to do shit is when the best shit happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I think. So when you walk into his room, you really get that vibe. And what I really envy, because it's just not mine yet, is the way you sit in the dining room, you look through a staging / prep area, I guess you can call it, where you have your work tables and everything. And then you look through beyond that into the line.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
That's
Just a really beautiful old world setup, but a new world vibe. And then you walk outside to his patio, which is in downtown Chicago, we're talking, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? How did this happen? what did you do? Knock buildings down? Did you pay people off? What happened there?
A little bit of both, yeah. A little bit
Yeah, a
of
little
both.
bit of both.
Chicago,
So
yeah.
let's take a toast.
It
This
is
is
Chicago.
Basil. We need our Basil Hayden to start
Two
this off. What do
great
you got? What are you
food
sipping
towns.
on, Chris?
Tequila
Cheers,
and
yeah.
a little bit of pink lemonade.
course
I don't
you
know.
are,
I'm
of
being
course.
weird today.
No, it's not
It was
weird.
all
It's
I could
amazing.
find in the cooler.
I love it. Let's drink it.
Whatever.
It's a great way to start my morning. I'm new at that, and I'm loving it.
That's how we
So-
roll on
Yeah.
here.
So moving on, so then here he comes out, talks to me, we talk, had no reason to talk other than the fact that I got to the mention that we were, I was in the industry, never told you at what level or anything like
Yeah.
that, but you took me in as if I was at the highest of all levels, and you gave
Which
me
you
that
are,
type of
yeah,
warmth.
yeah.
Well, no, but we're the same, we do the same type of work,
Yeah.
and it's a great thing. I don't know if I'll ever say I'm at the highest level because I'm always going to higher levels to get inspired. So I don't
Right.
know if I'll ever reach the plateau. There's so many people out there,
So
including
humble,
you.
so humble.
Well, it's not. It's the way I feel, bro.
Yeah.
It's how am I going to be inspired by going to a restaurant like yours if I feel I'm at a higher level? It's never going to happen, right? So anyway, coming back to how this happened, me and you. Here comes you walking out with your chef coat, your blue jeans on. I remember clearly knowing everybody in the restaurant, just doing what you're supposed to
And
do.
I had a broken arm, or not a broken arm, but I was in a cast
yeah,
too.
yeah, you're
I was
right.
in a
You're right.
cast, yeah.
Absolutely. That's what happens when you talk shit. He had
I
to
know,
knock his
exactly.
you probably
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You knuckled up somebody, got
He was
hurt.
playing baseball, but yeah.
We'll go with that story.
The baseball bat.
Yeah.
He's playing baseball in Chicago.
yeah.
Ooh.
And he's Sicilian.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's a Sicilian playing baseball
Yeah.
in Chicago. No, I'm just
natural
kidding.
talent.
Yeah.
No, you do play some. You're avid in baseball, aren't you?
Yeah, I love baseball, yeah.
That's
Hardball,
great, man.
yeah.
That's great. I'm a hockey guy myself, but I know the deal when it comes to sports. Still, as we age, for me, I'm having a hard time playing the way I used to, just because of everything that's going
But
on.
you're still playing.
You're
You
trying.
need, you need that outlet because this is a rough lifestyle. You need that outlet. So yeah.
Rough lifestyle. I
I
love
know.
it. It is a
Yeah.
rough
It
lifestyle
is.
all
It
the way
is.
around.
Yeah.
So you're privy to it just because you've been around it so long, and then doing these casts and everything. You're starting to see the stories of it as well. It's awesome, right? I mean,
It is. It is
so,
amazing.
Going back to that, let's talk about that. Your lifestyle before you became a chef. We're talking. I can say this right away because when you talk to me about this, I think it's amazing. So the whole Where'd you start out? You were into the punk rock scene.
Oh yeah,
Is that right?
In Chicago.
in Chicago, yeah.
Okay.
In Chicago. Now, Chicago has a punk rock scene, period.
Yeah.
That Midwest punk rock scene,
Yeah, we got a
I don't even want to go into the whole genres of the different varieties of punk or
Naked
that
Raygun,
hardcore.
yeah, a lot of great stuff.
Right,
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
So what were some of your inspirations through the punk life? Tell me
So
about
yeah,
that.
like I kind of grew up. One of my friends' older brother, they came from England. I got at a young age. We lost our house because we didn't have money. So I went to go live with another family, and the family was from England, half Irish, half English, and they would make fun of each other. It was the best. But the older brother would take us to shows at like 13, 14 years old, and we're seeing like unbelievable punk bands, and we're like, I fell in love. Like, this place is awesome. You could sit and let out any aggression, because every 13-year-old kid has aggression, right?
and this was
it
mostly
slammed
underground, right?
Yeah, underground, no-name punk bands.
Sure.
It was amazing. So,
Any of those no names ever grow out to be something big?
oh yeah, Naked Raygun, guys that extend to other bands. Let's see, Screeching Weasel, the Methadones.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, the guy around the corner from me is in. I can't remember the name of the band. Real big band. They're all over. Yeah, a lot of big punk bands.
And you're still into it now.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have children, you have a family. Do you introduce them to that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my
They
kids.
love it.
I came into my kid's room. I have 6 and 11-year-old Violet and Tessa, and she was singing the Ramones in the bath.
Oh wow.
Perfect.
Can't go wrong.
Do they
yeah.
want to dye their hair or do any of that?
Yeah, they dye their hair like pink and green.
they?
Yeah, well, the older one has blonde hair. It's easier. The other one's
Okay.
darker hair. So
So you went through a phase of that as well, right? You had some hair going on.
This is
Oh,
what I need
absolutely. When I
photos
had
of.
more hair, absolutely. It was orange. It was sticking up. I looked like a carrot top. It was the best.
Oh, do you have any
Oh my
pictures of this
God.
or something?
I don't know.
Oh,
No, no.
thankfully, yeah.
The evidence is gone.
I
Oh,
probably have
shit.
some. I could probably text them to you at another
So,
time.
so when it came to that, so you started punking. I'm going to call it punking at that time, not punking as a person, but as a genre of the punk music. You started doing that when you were younger, kept you busy, kept you going. I have similar stories, but I'm not going to talk about mine right now because I'll do that in many podcasts to come. But
Yeah.
your stories are coming from the same type of that building block that we need as chefs. That kind of, we all have the same kind of weird story. Not all of us, but a good percentage of us.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's
Have
what the
that.
kitchen is. We're all a bunch of like misfits.
Misfits,
you know?
right? Hence,
Yeah,
Misfits.
the misfits. yeah, saw them a bunch of times. Yeah.
Perfect. So, matter of fact, I think you invited me out there to see the Misfits. Was it them? or somebody-
Rancid, yeah,
Rancid.
Rancid, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That would have been great too. Sorry, I missed it.
I saw their first show ever in Chicago, and I just seen their last show. They played at Wrigley Field. Same with Green Day.
Oh,
And I was a roadie for the Smashing Pumpkins on their first tour. I've ever seen them because the singer lived around the corner from me. And here I'm seeing them. I haven't seen them in 20-something years, and they're playing Wrigley
Oh, my
Field.
gosh.
Same with Green Day. My band played the day before at some small little punk venue.
So you play in a band yourself?
I used to, yeah.
What do
yeah.
you play? What do you do?
I used to play bass, yeah.
Beautiful.
The best, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom.
So did you pick
love
that
it.
up when you started seeing those shows and start playing?
Oh,
like
yeah,
what
as a
age
kid.
were you?
Yeah, when I was a little kid. Yeah,
Okay.
like 13, 14. Actually, I was probably 14 years old.
How many people in Chicago know about this? I know they know the
Nobody
chef
really.
side
Yeah,
of you,
nobody,
right?
yeah.
So the chef side of you is it's out there, man. It's a great one because I've studied it after I met
Oh,
you.
wow, thank you.
I've gone
Yeah.
out. Well, it is, bro. You listen.
Yeah.
I call it this. I call it from punk to humanitarian, right?
Yeah.
It's
Which
kind
is-
of,
Thank you.
Which is
every-
what we might title your episode. So
There
that's
you go,
fine.
from
right?
punk
Yeah,
to
why not?
humanitarian. Check
Punk
it out.
rock.
So and you're still living punk rock, man. Obviously. So the thing is, people don't understand when we become chefs, and that's the vision they see of us, and that's how they meet us. They meet us in a whole different way, and a lot of people. Rightfully so, because I do it with other things. You don't really focus on them outside of what it is they bring to you. So
Yeah.
if they're going to your restaurant and you're bringing something to their world, right? Almost like you when you're a news anchor, right?
Yeah.
If you're or a bartender. If you're going to meet somebody as a news anchor or a chef, that's kind of the friggin' world you build around in your mind of who they are. So you kind of mentally put them in a
Expect it.
place of this.
Oh,
You know,
100%,
So while
yeah.
she's at home, she must be doing her, putting hers. It's
Speaking
not.
perfectly.
Our lives aren't this every minute.
I mean,
And-
it's a lifestyle. You're right. I mean, we have other facets that make us who we are, and that's just one of the facets who makes us who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how did you find out how did you feel about being a chef? When did that turn to you? What
I've
made
always
you go
wanted to
that
be
way?
a chef. When I was 5, 6 years old, my mom was and dad were both working. I lived with my grandma. She lived in the basement of our house, and she was constantly cooking. We were poor. She would enter recipe contests and win them, like $5,
Oh, wow.
$10, and she would take me by bus, 3, 4 buses to Little Italy because we lived on the Sicilian area.
So you're from Italian background, your blood,
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
you're-
So and I learned from my grandmother that you have to travel far to get good ingredients, and she would take me off and show me off. So I would always cook as a kid growing up. And I was like, one day, like one of my family members gave us a family like tree that they did when we were younger. I think I was 7. I said either I wanted to be a professional baseball player or a chef.
Wow.
Professional baseball player didn't work out, and look, here I am now, 54 years old. I followed my dream, so it's not a job.
Yeah,
it's,
you
it's
followed
a
it.
life,
You
yeah.
laid
Yeah.
it. You laid
Yeah,
it
so,
out.
and I've been working in restaurants since I punk rocker, orange hair, washing dishes, cooking. I remember one time that's memory. I was 15 years old, stirring a big steam kettle of minestrone, and I said, "I made it. I made it." You know, it was one of the still stuck in my head. 40 years
Awesome.
later.
I love that. So
Yeah.
you say you're following your dreams. He's following his dreams. Rightfully, I'm looking at his shirt here. Piccolo Sogno means
You
in
followed.
Italian dream,
Yeah.
small little
Little
dream.
dream.
Yeah.
So did that little dream now is not so little anymore?
It's
man?
not so little. Yeah.
Now it's little reality.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's and it's very dear to me. And like we talked about this again last night, this industry and this, everything I do is because I cook. Everything I have, everything you have, is because we cook. This is our lifestyle. So it's not a job; it's our life, and
Correct.
I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I wouldn't change any of it.
Yep.
Any of it. The people we meet, the things we do, it has its ups and downs like anything. The only times I consider it a pain in the ass or even remotely a job is when there's a lot of fucking problems.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a job. But then
Every
you
day there's a
fix it.
problem, though. We're firefighters.
Well,
we put
yeah,
out
yeah,
fires
correct.
every day.
Yeah,
Somebody
right.
doesn't show up. Somebody comes in hungover. Customer complains, or somebody wants a certain table. I mean, it's just we adapt so fast,
Right.
But every day is a problem. Is how you deal with it, right?
Exactly. The size of the problem isn't the thing, right?
Yeah,
It's
because
how
you're dealing with
how
the
you
problem
handle it.
every day. Yeah.
Every day.
Yep.
So, being a chef is, we have a lot of things we have to follow. And then the bigger your crew is, the more restaurants you have, things like that, the more problems come up. So you go from having to deal with all that and still remaining creative, still coming up with the education yourself. If you're going to do, let's talk Italian, because that's what we are and that's what we practice. Me, I'm not an American Italian chef. I do love the American Italian history and heritage. I'm one. Okay, I'm that first generation of American Italian here. So I do like a lot of American Italian stuff. I grew up on it. The chicken parms, cutlets, eggplant parms, the lasagnas, the meatballs, the spaghetti,
I mean, that's how
all
you got
that.
so big,
Classic,
right?
yeah.
You have to, you got to pump them in. So, but where my heart is regional or multi-regional or fusion regional
Yeah.
Italian,
Yep.
as far as the country of Italy.
Well, and what you're trying to do is what I try to do is you try to bring Italy to the guest here. So
Correct.
when they come to Virginia and they're going to eat at your restaurant, you're taking them on a trip to
Right.
Italy. You're not bringing them to southern Italy or the stuff that we grew up eating, saltimbocca, brajol, the whole thing. You're taking them to a place where you went and an experience of your life.
Sure, and then I put
that's
my
what,
twist.
and that's what and why I call myself our food is regional Italian, because my travels, my experiences, my things that I've tasted, I try to bring it back to the guest.
Exactly. So when someone's on vacation and go to Italy,
Yeah.
the first thing I love is when they come back. A lot of them say it, and I think it's because of the twist, but of course they're going to say it just to get in your graces. But we've had places in Italy and we still like this better. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? That's a wonderful thought. Ambiance has a lot to do with that. You know what I mean? Their perception of what's going on in their world has a lot to do with that. Their comfort zone has a lot to do with that. But what I like to do is that. So when I went to your restaurant the last time, you had brought out perfectly done truffle risotto with a fried egg on top, which you cannot replicate as well as you did, right? Because it is something so easily made in Italy and so ready when you're in certain parts of Italy. We're talking about Piemonte, up in Alba, in that area, up in the northern part of Italy, Milano, all that stuff. They have some beautiful stuff of this nature, and I love it. And that's where I go instantly. So as soon as I ate that and saw it when it came to the table, I could smell it.
Oh, yeah.
And the shaved truffle was perfect. Matter of fact, he's the one who turned me on to my new truffle purveyor. Which
Oh, yeah, Giacomo, the best.
Yeah, Giacomo. I have a
Wait
really
till you
good
meet this
relationship.
guy. Oh, when you come to Chicago.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
great
truffle guy.
relationship with him. I'm getting ready to load up on truffle now for the
Yeah.
upcoming season. It's now, September?
I was
So-
actually going to bring some truffles, but I wasn't sure if I could carry them on board. I had a whole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a pound
so-
of black. So sorry to make it sound.
That would be one thing
No,
to
yeah,
get
right,
arrested
thank
for
you.
at
Yeah.
the airport.
Thanks for,
Smuggling
not, thanks for
truffle.
not bringing it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Could have used that, but
So,
it was all
so
right.
the whole point of this is when you're replicating or bringing something back to someone like myself with the education of going back there mentally, it's not even educating of knowing you're doing it right. We're past that, right? It's,
No, you're
now
beyond
it's a
that, yeah.
fact of we're eating it, and now it's bringing me there without choice.
Yep.
That I'm not looking for it. I'm not dissecting it. Oh, he did this right. He did that. Fuck all that. What it is really is I'm eating this damn egg,
Yeah.
and it's just oozing perfectly orange, yellow
Yep.
oat yolk the way it should
Local
be.
eggs, yeah.
Local farm eggs. You're getting that real good protein in the yolk.
Yeah.
And then that the just amazing al dente risotto the way it should be. The rice was perfect. Now I'm going on talking about this. Basically, what I'm saying is how this should have been done and how it fucking was done.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not talking about how you executed it. I'm just talking about how it was executed and it was right. And that's what you guys bring over there. And that's where a lot of Italian restaurants and a lot of people who judge us. This is an Italian. I'm sorry, it's not what the Italian you're used to, but it is
Right.
Italian because I'm Italian. I'm cooking it, and this is what I eat. This is what we eat.
And the
Sorry.
ingredients are from Italy. You're right. Carnaroli's coming from Italy. Your Reggiano's coming from Italy. The eggs might not, but the truffles are coming because where else are you going to get them, right?
Right. You have to get them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
We can't grow our own.
Yeah. I wish we could.
Yeah. I'd be a millionaire. I mean, it
Yeah.
comes off the
We'd be
popular-
happy. We'd be a
Yeah.
little bit bigger.
And the funny thing is, bro, up in Maine, where I lived for quite a while in my life, there's poplar trees, and that's what the roots of the truffle grow in best in
Yeah.
Alba.
Yeah.
It's the same tree, but just the climate and for whatever it is. I'm always wondering, is there a fucking shitload down there that we don't even know about?
There could be. You never know.
I don't
I
know.
went truffle. Do you ever go truffle hunting?
Yes.
Amazing, right?
Great people out there I
Yeah.
go with. Every time I go out there and have a chance, I go with them. And
Beautiful.
it's very secretive. We get in their little four-wheel drive Panda hatchback,
Yep.
and we go running through the woods with their dogs. The dog's
Well, the
name
dog's
is
in the
Bosco.
trunk of a car. You pull up
Yeah.
to another car, and the dog pops out. This cute little dog, and like
Yeah,
he's
cute little
hiding. Yeah.
friggin-
Oh, he's a third generation dog.
Yeah.
Truffle. Wow.
That's
Sounds
so
we
cool.
went to the same place.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. So moving forward now with the let's move into the humanitarian side of you as a chef in Chicago. Chicago's not an easy place. You've been
No.
there many
Yeah,
times.
I
You know
love
the
Chicago.
food scene, right?
Yeah.
So we know the food scene in Chicago is untouched, right? It's great.
Right.
It's a huge food scene. The chefs that come out of there, it's a Michelin city, James Beard city. You're up against it, man. And though these awards don't typically come to everybody, they do go to the people who are in the right place, right time, and do the right thing over and over and over. But you don't need the fucking award to be the best in
Yeah.
the
No, I
eyes of
agree,
your
yeah.
customers
I
that
agree.
come through the door. And you,
Well, we don't do this every day for an award. I mean,
There's
that's
no
not
award.
what, that's not what,
if
I'm
we
not
did it for
stressing
an
about it.
award, dude, we would have shut down many years ago. It
Yeah.
takes years to earn awards.
Hmm.
It takes years, right? So
It's not why you do it. I don't
That's
do
right.
it. I don't open my doors. I don't think about it. I do it because I want to translate what my feelings are to my guests. I could care less.
exactly.
about what-
My point being is you're in a city
Yeah, and
of the same attitude, which
Yeah.
means there's the same feel, and then the awards come,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
your competition isn't against the awards; it's against the other chefs with the same passion. But that competition becomes a friendship in a sense.
Oh, yeah,
So we share a
absolutely.
lot of the same clients here.
Yeah.
With the best chefs around, we all share the clientele because
Yeah.
clientele want to eat. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we provide. So when you are big time. We were talking about your punk youth, and you had so many stories last night of crazy. Before we go into this, give me like one good or two good stories of how you came up. Like you came up, you were talking to me about being a little bit in the French brigade. You were talking about the
Yep.
French system. You were talking about asshole French chefs that did you dirty.
Old school, yeah.
Old
Old
school,
school,
which
yeah.
we all know about, and we do, and today we would probably get arrested for. But tell me, give me like a couple synopsis there. Give me some.
Fun story. You know what? Currant tomatoes. I remember one time a chef gave me a little pint of currant tomatoes. He said, "Give me some tomato roses." Yes, chef. Started making it, and they pop every time. And he's just sitting in the corner laughing. Yeah, just things like that. You
Like
know,
the
Yeah.
go
But
get the hot
old-
water out of the coffee machine.
Yeah, hot water out of the coffee machine. One time, it wasn't happening to me, but it happened to a friend of mine who was at another chef restaurant. The chef told him to go get the two top sheet pans on a speed rack in the cooler. So he went in there. He came out. He burned his hand. So the chef had put hot pans in there.
Oh,
It's just
God.
an idiot chef that did that. But I mean, you're like a young kid. You wanting to learn? Yes, I'll do that. You know.
So when I was young, I got hit with these too. I'll
Oh,
give
yeah.
you two of mine. So the first time I was in the kitchen, I was probably 14 years old. I went to this thing, and one of the saute cooks told me to run across the street to another restaurant or down the road to get a left-handed whisk.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
I
God.
fucking fell for it.
Of course you did.
Because I was young.
Yes, chef. Yeah,
chef. I went and got it, and the fucking people handed me a whisk.
They
Yeah.
went
And
right
I
along
said,
with it.
then he said, as I'm walking out, the guy was like, whoa, hold on a second. That's a right-handed one.
Oh
I came
my
back, he
God.
goes, here's a left-handed one right here. Just tell him I want it back this time.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
I went back and did it. It was the big fucking joke. I learned.
Those guys were friends. Yeah.
Right. So the next
best thing
time I
ever.
went on, I had this chef tell me, an Italian chef, told me to boil. We're going to have a storm coming in, which we were. It was predicted to have a big snowstorm and everything. So he told me to go boil a bunch of water for pasta and then put it in the freezer so we wouldn't have to fuck with it later. So if we lost power, we'd have plenty of boiled water for
Oh
pasta
my
later.
god.
Oh yeah.
I didn't do it. No, right
Okay.
away I said, fucking, first of all, you're fucking fucked.
Yeah.
Second of all,
Oh my god.
I almost might have fell for it.
Yeah.
Right?
But
If I
Yeah.
haven't been whisked out
Yeah.
before.
If you-
So that was it.
you
After that
learned,
whisk thing,
yeah.
I learned everything. I'm gonna analyze everything. And then I wasn't
But have you
stupid.
done that since? Have you had one of your guys go to another friend of yours restaurant? To
No,
go
I
eat
never
with?
did it. I'll be honest with you. I
You
never
gotta do
did
It's
it
fun.
because
You got.
well, here's the thing. This is why I don't do it.
Yeah.
I never trusted or liked that guy again in my life. I actually held resentment towards
Oh,
him
really?
for making me look
For
that fucking
embarrassing
stupid.
Oh, for the whiskey.
Yeah, and I was never able to get a good relationship in that restaurant again.
That's on him. That's on
on him.
Yeah.
But I carried it. I didn't like it. So I will never do that to somebody because I don't want someone to I don't want someone to misappropriate my knowledge or what I want to teach them because they don't trust me anymore.
Right.
I'm-
I can
so
see that point, but I mean,
It
you're.
pissed me off. I had secondhand embarrassment for anybody doing that.
Well, and you were
okay.
also
You know what I mean?
young, so you take it more personally.
was young at the
like,
time,
When
yeah,
we're
I don't wanna
older,
do
you
that to
fuck
young
around
I
with
mean,
each other. It's not a big deal.
we still mess with some of the interns in, but we also mentor them. You know, it's
Yeah.
just kind of good
Yeah.
fun,
At
and
the
they give
same-
it back too.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is great.
So my messing around with people now is different, right? Now I fuck with them in a different way. I'll just if they mess something up or break something, I'll just sit there and stare at them and tell them I'm going to see you fucking ass outside right now, motherfucker.
I mean,
And-
you're
They
kind
get
of
scared.
intimidating looking.
so I
right?
mess
So
with them
you're
like
yes,
that. And they're like, and I'll say, no, get over here. Come on. You're going to cost me money. You think the
Yeah.
customer out there is, because your steak sucks? Now get the fuck outside. And then he'll go outside and I'll just leave him there.
Yeah.
Sitting
And
with
then
you.
I'll come back in. I'll be like,
So you're still doing it,
yeah, I do it in different ways. I don't know if you're here yet or not, but I had a overcook. I was pissed at this time, and I threw a tomahawk at him, straight a tomahawk
no way. Oh, yeah.
veal chop, and then fucker
$70,
actually
$80
caught it.
steak coming. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
caught
threw it
it?
across the friggin' kitchen at him like a tomahawk, right? And he just said, and this
Spider-Man
kid couldn't.
didn't catch it?
I don't know if he can catch a ball if you threw it at him twice, but. He caught it just out of reaction, and it was
Yeah.
perfect, like in his
Oh
hand.
my
like,
god, that's
you know what I mean? Classic. So we gave him ESPN shout out of the day for that.
For that.
So now you've been through the ringer, you've been through the stuff, you've worked for chefs, you've worked for French chefs, you've been fucked with, you've been tormented, you've tormented, and here we are now.
In a good way, yeah.
They're in a good way.
Hazing.
So the safe thing to say here is that the industry is still alive and it's
Yeah.
safe.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we're gonna get to that in a minute, but. I really want to talk so we have time on this. Your humanitarian efforts are, I mean, they're huge, right? You have,
well,
if
thank
you
you.
look you up as a chef, you're going to find out a lot about your cooking, your restaurant, your accolades, people's reviews, people's perception of his restaurant. You're going to see all that.
yeah.
But what you do see a lot more of too is what you're doing for your community, what you did during the
pandemic.
war,
time,
the
or
pandemic,
the
yeah.
raid on the
Yeah,
raid,
or
the pandemic.
in
Yes,
Ukraine.
you did a lot for the
Oh
pandemic.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
absolutely.
Chicago, you had a lot of play on that. I remember trying to be involved with it from here.
Yeah. They shut us
Best
down.
I could.
Yeah,
They shut
yeah,
you down,
yeah.
shut us down.
Really?
But he did a lot of work trying to bring things smart and together
Yeah,
during
to
that
help.
time
Yeah.
to help all restaurants around.
Yeah.
So, but more so the war in Ukraine. You did that. Everybody knows there was a lot of refugees that were coming out of there. Can
Yeah.
you touch on that a minute?
Yeah, so, at first I'll backtrack. In a restaurant, we probably get 30, 40 requests a week to help out a charity, right? So at least we do in Chicago. I'm sure you get
Yes,
the
we
same.
do. Yes.
Because some of these customers' mothers having some fundraiser for their kids at school,
Yeah.
we're always a part of it. So we're taught early that, okay, to be successful, we need to help. We need to give back. And my personality is from me growing up and not having a home at one point, people have helped me, so I always want to pay it forward. And one time, and the day the war started and that Russia invaded Ukraine, I'm working out in the morning because I have to get healthy, and it's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm watching this, and as my adrenaline is pumping and flowing, I'm watching on the TV screen what's going on, and I said to myself, what can I do to help? I can't be there. I feel bad for all these people that are getting bombed. Just think about somebody's coming to your town, and they're bombing your town, and you're hiding in
Now,
a subway.
you told me last night you have a Ukraine young
Yeah,
girl
we had
working
at one
there
point we had
at that time,
a
so.
Ukrainian hostess. She was probably like 18, 19, and I remember thinking about what is that poor Nadia doing? What's going on with her? She's a sweet little girl, sweet
Yeah.
kid, and so I actually sent her a message later on, and I'll get to that. So anyway, I banded back together with my chefs. I reached out at like 7:30 in the morning. I texted the head of the Illinois Restaurant Association, Sam and Mary Kay, and they didn't respond because he was finally on vacation. Because those guys are great. They do so much for our restaurant community. He didn't respond, so I waited a little bit more, and my adrenaline's going. I just had coffee, which now I've quit coffee. I just drink decaf because it puts you up to another level after you work out.
Tweaking.
Yeah. Oof. So, and I'm like, I can't take no for an answer of one of this. So I reached out, I emailed and texted about 40 chefs. Immediate response is yes. I said, hey guys, let's do something for these poor people. I'll lead the charge. I'll take care of the logistics. Let's just do an event. Let's do something. So within a day and a half, I got Navy Pier. I reached out to the city of Chicago because friends working, in Chicago, you're like 2 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
So Navy Pier was able to donate their space. We had 80 chefs, or actually 100 chefs that participated.
No, hold that thought. For those people who are watching who don't really realize the capacity, I'm sure you do, but the Navy Pier in Chicago is not like the Old Navy in the mall. I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
to have 100
space,
area chefs in Chicago come together is
in
a
2
big
weeks.
deal.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks time.
So,
Wow.
so we're not talking about a small town somewhere where
No.
you just can't make a fucking call or two
Yeah.
to some people.
No,
We're
this
talking
is
about Chicago's
and
food
if
scene.
you rented out
Logistically.
Navy Pier right now, it's $250,000 for the size party we did.
Right, so that's
Wow.
huge. Okay,
They-
sorry to
they-
interrupt.
No interruption. So they donated the space. I had some friends that did some other charity work for Green City Market. They helped me. They jumped in like with some fundraising and organization, but it was all my contacts. I called Danny Wirtz from who owns the Blackhawks.
Yep.
And he's like, whatever you need. They donated all the booze. Friends donated tablescapes. We had sound systems, DJs.
So you have the NHL pretty much involved in this.
No, it wasn't the NHL. It was just Danny
just
Wirtz.
the
and
team.
the Wirtz
Gotcha,
family,
gotcha,
right? Yeah. But everybody donated. We did a silent auction, and within 2 weeks, I put on an event for our community. All the chefs voted, and we sent all the money to World Central Kitchen.
Oh,
I
wow.
texted that to Nadia on the Instagram, and she said, yeah, she was safe. I asked her how she was, and she said, I'm like, who's helping you? So we want to send
Wow.
money to who's helping you. So World Central Kitchen. Every time we have a train stop, because they would take the
wow.
train at night. So like, I told that to the team of chefs. We all said World Central Kitchen. So we donated $650,000
In
within
2
2
weeks.
weeks. Yeah, the day after the war started
Oh
is the
my
day
gosh.
start. And our event was on the day that the city and state closed our restaurants 2 years prior because of COVID.
Wow.
So it was like here restaurant communities are giving back, doing something that nobody else did in the world. No other chef community in the world did what we did,
Wow.
right? And we didn't want any accolades. We just wanted to help. And that's why we did it, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was the day that they shut I know you guys got shut down in Virginia too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got
For a
shut down
while.
on the 16th of March. And here we are doing something on the day, the anniversary that instead of us complaining and crying, we went forward and we
Yeah.
raised a bunch of money.
Well, that's why you're here, and that's why we're together
Yeah.
talking, because that type of chefing and that type of restaurateuring is what separates the successful people who are really passionately going for what they do and those who are out here just for a fucking paycheck. And there's a huge difference in that, because
Yeah,
the paycheck
absolutely.
goers aren't helping nobody. They're bitching all the time. They're giving a bad name to this fucking industry, and it's becoming a little bit out. We're almost getting on the other side of that scale to where there's a lot more of them. It helps us in essence, but on the other hand, it's disheartening in another way. But what you're doing and what you did now, that's José Andrés, Chef José Andrés.
Yeah, amazing.
Has a lot to do with all
Humanitarian. He helps with food policies to help with organics and getting food out to homeless people, to shelters. He's always first in line. He's got a team.
And the reason I'm bringing him up,
Yeah.
so there's no confusion here, why I just brought him up out of nowhere, is because it's really not out of nowhere. It has all to do with that kitchen situation in Ukraine.
Yeah, World Central
correct?
Kitchen.
And
So myself, backtrack. Paul Kahan, one of the owners of One Off Hospitality, James Beard,
Sure.
winner, friend Giuseppe Tintori. So and myself and another guy, Eric Kleinberg, who's a photographer, was a waiter and also somewhat of a chef. We all went down there 2 weeks after we did that event on our own money, and we went down there to go cook. We were on the border of Ukraine, Poland, because he didn't have a kitchen at the time, and because it was still fresh. So we went down. In the daytime, we went in this kitchen.
what were you cooking? What were you guys serving?
We were serving anything that was donated to us, food.
So you're creating things out of
Yeah.
ingredients,
Mass quantity.
Yeah,
soups,
So
sandwiches.
yeah,
things like-
borscht, salads. We tried to, and we had one area of the kitchen was sandwiches, so we'd make 30,000 sandwiches a day.
Wow.
30,000 a day.
Jesus.
Right, and then we were cooking hot foods, proteins with vegetables and starches to keep
Good
them going.
food.
Good, great food, similar to the food that they're eating. And the pots were bigger than this whole area.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So this is
We was in paella pans. We
2024?
had 6 paella pans going.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is 2024, right?
Oh, yeah.
23.
It's
23, 24.
Well, as soon as,
So
as soon as the war started, we were down there within the
there.
first 3 weeks.
Now, when we talk about when most people are talking about refugees and walking and walking with their suitcases, things like that, I'm thinking two things come to mind: is the old images I used to see of the Vietnam War when all the Vietnamese people were running, and all torn up and tattered, black and white imagery that you can just imagine only because it's in black and white, stuff like that. Yeah. Then you go back to World War II, and you go back to these things that you can kind of relate to, but not really. Because it was so far back, it's almost like you're just reaching into history and kind of imagining what it must
You
have
see it
maybe
in the
been
book,
like.
you don't see it in live.
But now you're seeing it live in
You saw it.
2023,
Yeah.
24. So these people are wearing Nike emblems and they're wearing modern day
Class
stuff.
that means nothing. Class means nothing at this point. So we would cook in the kitchen 14, 16 hours, stinky as hell. We'd go get something to eat, then we'd go to the camps and serve the food and see. Like I was on the
wow.
border of Ukraine, Poland, and people are coming across beautiful clothes, dirty, 2 bags. It's usually older people or moms with little kids crying. I don't know how much money we gave out. Like, here, go buy some ice cream. Here's €100. Because these poor kids, I'd give them to the kid because the mom probably wouldn't take them. And then the mom would come over and start crying because we had somebody help translate. Thank you. We can have a night. We can go find a hotel now, in Poland.
Right.
I mean, it was insane just seeing this. And we were feeding 30,000 people a day at the time.
Well, thank you for that. I can thank you for that because A, you're helping all those people. B, you just you exemplify what it should be to be a actual giving chef who has resources and doesn't hold them to yourself.
No, that's
Yeah.
the whole
And
idea.
that's the biggest thing. It'll pay back, dude. Karma is
Oh,
a
no,
motherfucker.
karma's a
Karma will get you.
My
And-
mom has family in Ukraine, so
okay.
she kept in touch with them through that
And
time.
it's tough.
and-
These poor people.
Yeah.
They're hiding in subways, hiding in sewers, getting bombed. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, but there's people who talk about it and say they want to do something, and there's people who actually do it.
And I have no idea. I have zero relations besides that one little hostess that worked for us one summer. Zero relation to anything Ukraine. Something God just pulled me
You
over
just
there.
did it because
great,
that was
man.
where you were
Yeah.
supposed
That's
to be.
great. And you had the
So,
skill
And I
to
didn't
do
do
it.
it for any media attention. I just
No.
did it because that's what we do as chefs. We're there first in line to help.
Yeah.
And
when
look-
you Google you, in essence, like the first few pages are all the accolades, the write-ups
Yeah,
in the
I mean, yeah.
magazine, all the awards, those type of things. You don't see that as much, and I mean, it's something that again you don't want accolades for, but you do deserve
we don't do
things
it for it,
that.
yeah.
Where's the headline? Punk rock chef saves the nation.
Yeah.
Where's that
Cooking-
at? Punk
cooking
rock
for
chef
hundreds of
gives
thousands.
ice cream to the kids.
Yeah.
The community.
I prefer the punk rock chef wins his baseball championship.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
you
understand,
want.
because
Yeah,
we
you
just
want that
just
is
one.
lost.
perfect,
Yeah,
right?
we
Life
just
is-
lost our playoff round.
You just lost it?
Yeah, right.
Let's
before.
put that national.
Oh, okay.
We got to fix that next year, boys.
Yeah, we're trying. We're
Come
trying.
on, boys. Bring it in, boys. Next year, let's go, boys.
Teamwork. Yeah.
So,
And that's
So-
why I'm drinking this for the first thing
yeah,
in the
let's
morning.
do a toast
I
to
know
next
this
year.
is the
right?
to the good
Another
shit.
toast. So let
Cheers.
me swallow this.
That's what she said.
She did say that, too, didn't she? Bitch.
We haven't really gotten that in much in this
Yeah,
episode.
this has
we're,
been.
we're
We have
pretty
too much
tame
good.
so
Yeah,
far,
we are
so
tight.
I had
right?
to do it.
What's going
Sorry.
on with us today?
I know.
Like, he's got too much good info to talk about, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's this is the thing that the restaurant industry in general, because when he had the concept for the show, it was talking about the pussification of the industry and how it's
Yeah.
just become so like generalized, and you've lost the passion and the love and the sex appeal and the rock and roll of the industry. But there's a lot of good sides to it that people don't see.
Oh, it's fun.
and
It's fun. Yeah.
it's
I mean, if you're sitting
incredible.
around 14 hours with a group of people,
Yeah.
men, women,
You better have fun.
we're having a blast.
And the beauty of it is still alive. Let me be honest
Yeah.
with you. I'm not saying any names by any means or anything like that, of course. However,
However,
Not on record, yeah.
now, however, it's still there. I still have my chefs and my cooks coming in all fucked up and hungover. Some of them, damn well you ain't slept in 2 days, motherfucker. Who you?
Yeah.
It took me forever to get here. Traffic was horrible. We take the same road.
Yeah.
There's
Coach
no
out of
traffic,
your mind.
man. There's no traffic. More like your traffic
I
her
haven't
was
seen many
fucking
cars
on
here.
last
There's
night.
no
Yeah.
traffic in Virginia.
Yeah,
here.
right. There's
Compared
you
to
know,
big cities, people like to complain.
I-
here.
I
coming in,
can't
We
they're
don't
believe
still
have
coming
that.
in
It's a beautiful
stinking.
city.
They're still coming in drunk. They're still coming in
Yeah.
with freaking VCR, that coke residue. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. But people are still partying. People are still having fun.
They are.
They ain't bullshitting me, man. I
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah,
And
we've done it.
I may have quit all that partying, to the heavy partying stuff many years ago. I wouldn't be where I am today if I kept going there.
Yeah.
but it was part of my life, and I don't have.
I mean,
a problem
it's just
saying
part
because
of yeah. I mean,
the
community.
part of the growth. I don't ever want to see that part of this industry go away, and I know there's a lot of people that are trying to make it go away. That's why I call it the pussification of the industry. But my thing is, and I'm going to talk to you about this, is out of all the things now we have to worry about, we have so many more things. We have a lot more of diplomacy, I guess you can call it. Is that right? Democracy.
PC, I mean,
yeah, we
you
have
know,
a
Well,
yeah.
PC,
you're
stuff
also
like
you're a representative of your restaurant. So what you do at 2:00 in the morning, you still have to think about because you
Correct.
now
As
Yeah,
a
correct.
chef
and
owner,
it's not
yeah.
only about you; it's about the 70 employees you have that are on your back.
But what about them hard times that I don't want to see some of that go away, because when people like us, you and I in this industry, have to get to where we are, we've gone through it, we've put it away, and that's why we are where we are today.
Yep.
But you have to go through it to be able to make the decision.
Right. Well,
Because if you don't have that decision,
you're right.
if you don't have that decision, right, what are you going to do when the walls start crumbling? You know what I mean?
Or
The problems don't
tenacity.
go away.
Yeah.
The problems don't go away. So we can go about it as political as we want to. We can go about it as diplomatic as we want to. You know what I mean? Politically correct as we want to. You can go about it all you want. But what the fuck does that do to the problem? If you have a fucking all-out grease fire in the middle of service and you're not allowed to say "fuck you, cunt," get that shit, how do you not react to the problem when the weight of the problem is still the same as it was 25 years ago, 50 years ago? Are you supposed to stop and say, well, let's handle this problem differently? Fuck this, the goddamn kitchen's burning down. Get the fuck out of my way and get some water, motherfucker. Get some salt, get something, get a blanket. I don't care what you do. But we don't have time to
Let's
not
hope that
hurt
never
your
happens.
feelings.
By the way,
Yeah, right. That never happens. It's all fictitious. But you know, if we're 70 tickets deep and we're in the weeds and people are supposed to be nice, you're supposed to, you know, some guys backing up and burning
Well, it's
everything.
service.
And
Service is service. you
Service
know?
is
Yeah.
service. So how do you feel about that? Like when all this politically correctness comes into the kitchen, where sometimes it just doesn't fit, man. I mean, how are we supposed to stop? The problem doesn't change.
Yeah, well, like during service for us, like we'll have tickets the way we're working, and you know it's dead serious. The guys are thinking, okay, I need to go get my beer at 10:30 when the service is over 11. But during that time, you know, somebody will crack a joke or somebody will do something funny, and then it just lightens it all up.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like one of my guys, my pizza guy, I'm like, I go to put my hand to get a drink of water, and he starts rubbing my hand. I'm like, Chava, come on.
Oh, I do that all the time.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Just
all
hold
over
it.
it.
It's like
Yeah.
that. It's just like that little stress reducer. You know, all right,
Yeah.
Chava, thank you, Chava. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
definitely.
good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a way to do it. So I try and do that in my kitchen all
Yeah.
the time. I'll be the one that gets fired up for a little bit, but once I realize
The humor,
that
yeah.
okay, I got to simmer this back down. Once the tickets start smoothing and everything comes out, I'll start joking with guys or the ladies in here, and we'll all end up calming down. Nobody really goes home that mad.
No,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
don't. It's the team, and it's the service is service. You know.
But as far as the whole, let's take it down, don't hurt feelings. I'm not for it. If your feelings get hurt, just find
not the
a
industry
kitchen
for
that
you.
is more
Yeah.
suitable for you.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to that. I mean, I just treat the people the way that I want them to treat me.
Exactly.
You know, and if I'm tough on them, they're going to be tough back. I'm okay with that. You know.
Treat me better, treat me
Yeah.
good, I'll treat you better,
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Treat me bad, I'll treat you worse.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I mean, it's that's just the way I live.
Yeah.
So, Kristen, what do you think? What am I missing here? As far we have him, he's here from Chicago. We got a few more minutes. Give him something. What are you going to give him? Let's hit him with something good. These people watching, taking it into our show.
I don't know. Well, I want to know, because I think this has been a question. Where was your training? Did you go to school, or did you?
So
just
yeah,
what age
during
did you
during
jump into
high
restaurants?
school, I was working in restaurants, dishwasher, 15 years old. Worked my way up to a prep cook through high school. Then I went to culinary school. We were poor. I took out a loan, which I paid off, which is crazy. People don't pay off student loans, right? So that's why I had good credit to buy my restaurant 20 years later. They're like,
Okay.
The banker said, "Wow, you paid off your student loan." Yeah, I
So
did.
if they end up going with the country giving back loans like they were talking about, are you going to put in for your reparations? You're going to be like, yo, I want my
want
my
my
money back, yo.
I'm okay.
This
I'll
is
just
some
I'll
bullshit here.
donate it to charity.
Yeah, there you go.
At this point?
Something.
So
Yeah.
how long has your restaurant been open now?
Since 2008, we opened
Okay.
up during that bank recession. That was the
Wow.
worst time. I was probably the last person to get a loan. But I'll backtrack. So, like at 18, I started working in French restaurants because, you know, as a kid, I started taking French at 15.
Okay.
Punk rock kid trying to speak French because I wanted to go to France to learn how to cook. You know,
And
being in
Paris
a-
had a good punk rock scene too.
Huh? Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
they did,
Yeah. They did. But I never thought about that, right? So I wanted just to be a chef. My goal was to be a chef. So I started working in great restaurants under John Bonchet had a restaurant that he was secretly owned with called La Plume, and his two chefs, Greg and Tom. Worked for him for years. Great restaurant. Started doing that. Then I went to a French hotel. And then at one point, after working 90 hours a week, I said to myself, my passion's not there. You know, it just wasn't there because I wanted to do Italian. So it was always inside of me. Then I said, okay, let me start doing Italian because that's where my love was. You know, great, fancy, putting things on the plate in the 90s. It was, you know, it was a good restaurant scene for French. And then I went
Orange
back.
Ruffy.
Yeah, no orange Ruffy. That was
Shaved
in the
Shaved almonds.
yeah 80s. We talked about that last night. And then my career just blossomed.
So you came from
Yeah,
that.
because
love
I
it.
went to where my roots were from, and my passion. I went to Italy. I got the chance to go stage at a restaurant in Italy, in Tuscany, in the middle of the country, where in the Chianti area, and my life just changed.
Your passion changes once
Yeah.
you get back to that roots and you smelling again what you
Yeah.
grew up with. I call it. You hear me say a lot, chasing the dragon. It's almost like that drug thing back in the day. They used to call that when you're chasing that high all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I do it, but I relate it to my passion, my cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So when I walk into an Italian kitchen, an Italian neighborhood, I smell it instantly.
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
I
No.
want to
Yeah.
be in it. I want to be in it.
And it's
I
not
don't
just
care.
garlic. You smell like you don't.
Garlic's
all
the
of
least of it, man.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a-
the best smell
that's
to me in the
American style.
world, my smell of choice, something that really puts zen to my life, is fresh basil.
Yeah, basil. There you
Basil to me is the most inspiring smell. It's what inspires me every minute. If I smell basil, I want to get in the kitchen right now. And I don't even know why that happens.
go. They'll bring the basil over.
I
You
know,
already
just
Yeah,
like
there's,
rub
there's
it.
no
Yeah, you
rhyme
know,
or
because
reason for it.
it reminds
Yeah.
you of a memory as a kid.
Correct.
Fresh bread. There's three smells that I love more than anything. Fresh bread.
Perfect.
Right? The smell of fresh cut grass because it
good
reminds
one.
me of baseball.
Sure.
And fall. The smell of the leaves in fall. You get that a lot. Like we have a great fall there, and I think of myself walking to school in rain. Like
That
today is a rainy day.
remind-
Those
yeah.
are
Yeah,
three
yeah.
smells that stick to me. That bread, because we live close to a bakery, and my grandma would
Yep.
make bread.
Same as us. So
Yeah.
I lived next to an Italian bakery as well when I was really young, right in New Haven area, Connecticut, and there was a bakery right around the corner that we used to go to, and it was amazing. You always knew when that bread was cooking, which was every morning. Oh my, the big Italian roll. The
Yeah,
big
did they have
rolls.
slices of like the pizza bread they cut with scissors?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
best.
The
Yeah.
focaccia and stuff like yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
best thing.
that's
I love it.
sfincione. You know what
Yeah.
sfincione is?
Sfincione,
It's
I love sfincione, yeah.
So they'd have
Absolutely.
that, and you could smell that.
Yeah.
So all that stuff would come to, and then when they do the sfogliatella, you could smell that in the air when the sfogliatellas were cooking and that pastry was opening. Oh, come on, man. Fucking
Let's,
forget
why,
it.
why don't we have any
Just
sfogliatella
forget
here?
it.
You should make us some
I
sfogliatella.
know.
Yeah,
I know,
I should-
Jesus.
We just jumping on
Anyway.
it.
Yeah, get on the sfogliatella.
Yeah, let me
will
just
ya?
get on that real
Yeah,
quick.
get on it.
Really say it. Let's make it. So
Spell it even.
yeah, right. SPZHFIO. No, but anyway.
Yeah.
So
Google. That's how you spell it.
yeah, exactly right. So what I love is that, and it's funny you say the grass and those things that remind you of something. Mine's bread as well.
Yep.
Sauce,
Oh yeah, grandma's
sauce,
sauce. Oh,
with
yeah.
with a beef. You know, I have the beef and the pork. You can smell that density. You can
bones,
smell
yeah.
it. You can smell the density of that in the air.
Sundays at your house growing up?
Sundays mostly all the time.
Yeah.
We ate it a lot actually. So
Yeah.
it's, but yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sundays. I used to have to go to the store to get the bread, and the bread would come in the wood. You know, I'm sorry, not a wood. The paper bags.
Yeah,
Remember
half
that?
of it would be sticking out because it's too
Yeah.
long.
So
yeah.
by the time I get home from the
Oh.
bakery,
It's
the
half-
bottom
yeah.
was missing.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
put the top in,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they
They
didn't
didn't
know.
know.
Right? And then,
right.
oh, can I have some bread and dip it in a little scarpa in the sauce? There
Sure,
you go.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's
and
amazing.
that smell to me, basil to me, and speaking of sports, one of my favorite smells is the inside of a hockey rink.
Oh,
an
yeah?
arena. You have that,
Yeah.
mix between the ice, the Zamboni fumes, the snack bar they have with the vinegar French fries. That's
Oh,
always
yeah.
reminiscent.
Nice.
And
Thank
all
God
that
you didn't
stuff.
say the smell of the inside of a hockey
Not the
glove.
No.
Oh no, that
is
smells like a
That's nasty.
fucking boot. That's bad news. Yeah, yeah.
I used to live next to some guys that used to play in the Blackhawks, and at the end of summer, they'd have all their stuff out sitting in the sun, probably just killing all the bacteria.
Yeah, that's what
Trying
we
to
did. So
kill it.
I've learned in time to save my equipment is to spray it with some disinfectant so the bacteria wouldn't eat the palms out in raw, and then all the you'd lose your gloves because the palms would rot
Yeah,
out.
because you're around, you have to have that at the
So
restaurant.
we would
you're
go play.
smart
Bro, I
enough,
would
yeah.
go play hockey. Smell like the bottom side of a horse saddle, right? In August, and I would go on a date after,
Yeah.
and I'd smell my own hands and didn't care. I'm like, this is what it is, baby.
It was only a first
Come
date.
on,
Never a
girl.
second date, huh?
I didn't know. I mean, I stunk. I didn't give a shit though because we were just gonna go play hockey anyway. You don't like it, whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? those were the best days. Those are the days that keep on. I wish I can keep coming back. I'm really happy with where I'm at. Life is beautiful. The inside of a kitchen, by all means, is where I'm most comfortable.
Yep.
And I can tell that's where you're most comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. You know
And
what? You have
she's
a party
most
at your
comfortable
house?
because
Where
she's
you
in
at?
it now, and she's comfortable as shit because she's behind her mic.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, life is good.
Behind the
Life is
kitchen?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the kitchen. I love it. So I want to thank you, my friend, for coming here. I can't wait. Talk to me about the big food show coming up in Chicago, or the ones that come repeatedly that you're involved.
Yeah, every year
because
we do a Chicago Gourmet. It's in Millennium Park. It's a bunch of chefs that get together through the Illinois Restaurant Association, and we have some ancillary events. I'd love to have you out there as my
I would
guest
love to. I would love
sometime.
to.
And
Just let me help you cook a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come
I don't
in
want-
2 weeks.
Tell everybody,
Yeah.
we have to
I may
tell
do
everybody
that.
too where they can come visit you. So where's the
Oh yeah, I'm
Plug
at
yourself, buddy.
Piccolo
Plug, big
Sogno.
plug.
Yeah,
We all
Piccolo
have
Sogno.
Producers out there, we plugging?
We plug in.
We be plugging?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Piccolo
do.
Sogno, Grand
Yeah,
Milwaukee, and Halstead in Chicago. Piccolo Sogno means little dream. My partner Chiro and I started that in 2008 on pennies. For a year, I lived off of toilet paper, soap, food from the restaurant because I had no money.
Wow.
I just put all my life savings into it, and it worked out. We're okay.
www.com, anything?
Yeah, www.piccolosoniorestaurant.com. Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah.
put that on once we do the
We'll
editing.
put it in there,
Yeah.
but
We'll put that on there.
your name is very
Yeah.
searchable, and
Tony.
people can find you.
Yeah, you
we
can
got
find Tony, yeah.
This is T squared,
Yeah,
Chef
T,
T
yeah.
squared
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
so we're
Yeah.
good.
If your name was Tony, we'd have the three
I
Tonys.
know,
That's
I
right.
know. Tony.
Has done it again.
Hey,
Feels good. Yeah. So
and it turns into karaoke at this
Right.
point, just if you weren't aware.
let me tell you something. There's two things I would really suck at as a career. One, we already talked about, stripping.
Yeah.
And two, singing. I can't sing a shit, bro.
Oh.
I
Can you
can't
dance
sing.
though?
Back in the day, forget it, bro. I'm not-
Yeah.
they call me Fred Astaire.
Yeah, I just run in
not gonna lie.
circles, so I can't dance.
So, no, yeah, we used to get it in, man. We definitely on all that stuff. Anything that you would imagine that we would do as young Italian kids up north, we did. The IROC Z's, the damn,
Oh, God,
all the
the
all this
IROCs.
stuff,
yeah.
the dancing,
You know what us
the
punk
Z.
rockers would do? We'd take eggs and throw them at the guys in the RXZs and the
Sure.
little button-up jackets.
Yeah, we used to
and
fight
down
you guys. It
Harlem
was fun.
Avenue, Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We used to fight all the time, but
Yeah.
it was
We'd
fun.
run away.
It was
yeah.
fun.
You
Yeah,
guys
so
were all bigger than us.
we'd fight the punk guys, and I can't lie though. I loved punk too back in the day, but I just didn't live the lifestyle, so I can't
Yeah.
claim it by any means.
Yeah.
So we did the Z Cavarici and all
boy.
that shit. Yeah, man, that's what
Plastic goodie in your back pocket. to comb
Yeah,
your
man,
hair.
we had to do
Yeah.
it. So that was all the fun stuff back then. But I can't wait to do more with you in the future. I'm gonna come out to Chicago. Maybe she can come out to Chicago with us and do some footage on
I
this.
will
Get the
always
team
go to
out there
Chicago.
Yeah.
to do this type
You
of
guys
thing.
are always welcome in my restaurant.
And,
yeah.
Thank you.
and you make that well known. When anyone who goes to your restaurant, I can tell is welcome there. And
Yep.
it's an amazing thing. So if you guys are ever in Chicago, please take the time to go there. Get on his social media, which we'll also post links to,
Okay, good. Thanks.
all that stuff,
Because
man.
I'm on that like all the time, right?
And
No.
typically,
got you.
I do a bad review after the end of everything, but he blatantly does not respond to reviews. Is that
Yeah,
right?
absolutely not. Yeah.
Which I
So,
respect both
I don't
of
want
those.
to put fuel on the fire because how much of them are true, right? But and then if there's one that's like valid, we talked about this last night. If there's a valid one, you definitely have to respond. But
When
I don't
there's valid-
publicly
right.
respond to it.
Yeah.
I just reach out to them. Hey, what's your phone number? Let me call you. Because that's
If
what we do.
don't- if we
personally.
don't
Do
res-
it
if we don't
personally.
respond to the valid ones, that's a
Yeah.
level of ignorance that's going to make you just fail.
Oh,
you have
absolutely.
to. Part of customer service
But
is
I don't
to
even
be
look
wrong.
for them. I don't even look for them.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the half the ones that we get, sorry, 3/4 of the ones we get are just people complaining because it didn't go their perfect way,
they just want
or,
attention.
or
Yeah.
they're just mad or they got embarrassed or something.
They didn't get the
So I got to
table they
come
want.
after them. I
Yeah,
go
sure.
after them, bro, because
Well, he does. Everybody can
after
read those online
Yeah,
if
I
they
go-
want to,
I go
but
after
you choose to not do that. So
Yeah,
we're
we
not going to
don't.
close out the episode
Yeah,
with that
we'll-
today.
we'll-
so
we'll
we'll just
honor
close it
your-
out.
I would love to hear. Let's look for the good ones, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
those are
Oh,
the ones
there
that
we
make
go.
those are the
yeah,
ones
yeah,
that,
the good ones are there, and I love the good ones. And
That's why
look,
you do your job. That's why I do my because you know that positive feedback you're getting from the guests. You're like, man, I really did something today.
So in honor of him, the next episode,
Yeah.
we
We'll read a
film,
good one.
We'll read a
Okay,
good one.
We can do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
I like
switch it up a little bit,
I like it.
and then we'll do a bad one after. 'cause fuck
yeah,
that.
awesome.
right.
You can do both.
All right,
Cheers.
yeah, that's right. All
Get
right,
it. Are
boom,
we-
we're
we're
booming
doing it
out.
this way?
Yeah,
I
we're
did
doing
it
this.
this way.
I actually was going
So-
for a toast, but I didn't have a drink in my hand.
You got it
Celebrate,
right
yeah.
behind you. So
All right.
thank you
Yeah.
for spending time
Listen,
with us.
as I always say about this time, thanks for coming. Loved having you.
Yeah.
You got to get back because you got service later, probably.
Yeah. From service. Yep.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.
Ciao for now.
All right.